Right, ladies and gents, if you're watching. Hey guys, it's your girl Jessiara. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new. So, it's a boy talk. Hey, welcome to episode 2 of the Girl Talk series. So for today's episode, we are focusing on how to shoot your shot with a guy, how to know if he likes you, and how to handle rejection. And then at the end of this video, I'm going to be telling you guys some of my red flags, some of the things that's happened to me in my past situationships. I'm not even going to call them relationships because I was young, dumb, and stupid. But I'm going to tell you guys at the end of this video some red flags to look out for, and just some things that you should keep your eye on if you like a guy and if he's not giving you the same energy back. Okay, baby. So I asked you guys to send me some questions on Instagram, which if you're not following me on, come on, you know the deal already. Right, so the first question is how to get your crush to like you. The short answer is you can't. Sorry to break it to you, but these girl talks and these boy talks that I'm going to be doing, I'm being real. I'm being 100%. If you know me, you know that I'm 100% real bed. I'm joking, but you guys just know I like to keep it real because I'm not trying to let you guys go out in life and embarrass yourself. But yeah, the short answer is if a guy doesn't like you back, and if you know that he doesn't like you back, you can't make or force anybody to like you. You can try and persuade them via tactics and skills of seducing. When I say seduce, I don't mean it in a sexual way. I mean seduce as in make him want you but then pull back. Obviously, why would you want a guy who doesn't want you? That's embarrassing. How can he not want you? That is embarrassing. I'm sorry, I'm moving on. I'm not gonna force anybody to like me. You should like me for me, period. Okay. But if you want him to be jealous and lust for you, then you can do some simple things to make him want you. All of the tips that I'm going to give you on how to make a guy like you, it's not going to be physical things, because there's no way I'm going to be telling you ladies, my followers, my girls, and my besties, that you guys need to change the way you look to make a guy like you. No, not on this channel, okay? All of these things are going to be emotional and mental to try and play with his mind. Because men play with our minds, so why can't we play with theirs? So something that I done when I was in secondary school and I liked one of the new guys, we ended up dating for 2 weeks. Anyway, year 9 I think, he was new and he didn't like me back. He made it quite obvious that he wasn't into dark skinned girls, but I was like, okay, bet. When he would be like, oh hey Jess, how you doing? I'm like, good. And I'd give him looks. I'd be like, little things touch his shoulder, touch his arm, touch his thigh. But girl, if he doesn't like you, you can't make him like you. Right, so the next question is one that I'm excited to share, because I think we're in the 21st century. It's 2021, for goodness sake. Women should be shooting their shot with guys or men that they like. I think I think that the whole thing of men pursuing women is just, I'm bored of it. I need a new narrative. I don't want to say I pursued my boyfriends, Corey. I don't want to say I did, but I kind of did. I was very direct and stern with how I felt towards him early on. And I was kind of just calling the shots, there and then. Because that's just in my nature, I guess. I know some guys don't like it because they will feel emasculated, which is kind of dumb. But I can understand it, but at the same time, 21st century, So, let's say that you like a guy. It's a different scenario if you're friends with this guy. I will talk about that later on, okay? But say you like a guy, I don't know, you go to work with him, you work with him, you're in college with him, he's in the same class as you or something, you go to university together, and you don't know if he likes you back. How to shoot your shot? Just go for it. Honestly, there's no holding back when it comes to it. But I say ease into it. You can't just be like, will you go on a date with me? And you lot barely talk. If it's a thing where you barely know him, get to know him, become his friend first. Ask him about his interests. If he likes coffee, go on a coffee date. Ask him, what are you doing for lunch? Do you want to go to Starbucks or something? Do you want to go to a restaurant, grab some lunch? If you like books, if he likes books, then ask what he's reading. Ask his favorite Netflix series. Try and get to know him first, because guys aren't as smart as girls where they will see right through it, but then some guys can see and they will think that girl is desperate, when 9 times out of 10 the girl just wants to get to know you. She's not desperate, but then some girls are desperate. Yeah, so in the case where you're just trying to get to know him, don't outwardly flirt with him harsh. Flirt with him lightly. So I don't know, oh, I like your hair today, I like that jacket that you're wearing, your eyes are nice, blah blah blah. Just Compliment him. Guys like compliments. It's obvious. Guys, if you compliment a guy, you will see his ego boost. Men like being complimented. Facts. Like, what man doesn't like being complimented? I'll give you an example. When I first met Corey, obviously we met on a night out. If you don't know how we met, you should know by now because I tell the story all the time. But we met on a night out and we were dancing together. And then as we went on more dates and as we saw each other more, I complimented him a lot because he is a very good looking man. So I always said to him, you look nice today, you smell nice today. And what I done was I leaned into him. When I was giving him a hug, I breathed in, I was like, you smell really good. There's a way of being subtle with it and there's a way of being really harsh and you coming on too strong. It's nice. Some guys like a confident woman. Some guys like a woman who's direct. The first step to shooting your shot is just to get to know the guy, be friends with him, try and get to know him. Don't make it all about you. Guys like it when they speak about themselves. I mean, most guys, not all guys. Right, the next question is, how do you know if you like him or if it's just the idea of a relationship? Right, I can heavily relate to this. Amara is being fussy. You're being fussy. You need to go to bed. You need to take a nap. How do you know if you like him or if it's just the idea of a relationship? I can heavily relate to this because there's been times where, well, before I was in a relationship with Corey, there's been times where I would think I like someone, but I actually just like the idea of them and I like the idea of a relationship. You would know, because if you genuinely do like a guy and if you genuinely do have feelings for somebody and you actually want to get to know them and have like a long-term relationship with them, you would be thinking long-term. You wouldn't be thinking like all the surface level things. So let me expand. So here are some signs that you like the guy and you don't just like the idea of a relationship. You think about him, not constantly, but you think about him a lot. You think about him when you're doing activities. So for example, if you're at a restaurant, you would say, oh, I don't know, Jonathan likes pasta. I think he'd really like this pasta. Or if you're watching a film or a Netflix series at home by yourself, you think, oh, Adam would really like this. What are these names I'm coming up with? Corey really likes pasta. He would really like this restaurant. Corey likes sci-fi movies. He doesn't, but Corey likes sci-fi movies. He would really like this film. Or Corey likes to play tennis. I want to take him to this tennis court. I don't know, just things like that. So you would think about this guy when you're doing daily activities. You would also think of the future with him. Now, when I say future, I don't mean hand in marriage, having kids, mortgage, house, etc., planning like all of that stuff. I mean like taking trips with him, going on holidays with him, meeting the family, little things like that you would think about. When you catch yourself thinking about those things, you'll be like, oh my gosh, I actually like him. That was me. I am not the type, well, I wasn't the type to show a guy that I had emotions and to show a guy that I cared, because in my past relationships, doing that, I came across as weak and it kind of backfired and a lot of ish went wrong. Like when the first few weeks where I met Corey, the first few months that I met Corey, when I started to think, oh, I'd really like to meet his family, I'd really like to go to his hometown. When I started to think about him in different ways, I was like, oh my gosh, I actually like him. I don't just like the idea of a relationship. So if you just like the idea of a relationship, you would just be thinking about the materialistic and surface level things. You wouldn't be thinking about him when you're doing daily activities. You wouldn't be thinking about him and his feelings. You would be talking to other guys, especially because if you genuinely did like someone, you would try and block off all the other eggs in your basket. We're almost near the end. I just want to add some final things in the end. But how to handle rejection. What you need to remember is that rejection is a part of life in every aspect. You will go through rejections in your workplace, in your family, in your friendships. You'll go through rejection with boyfriends, with girlfriends, with friendships, with work, with profession, with university, with college, with everything you do. You will go through rejection at least once. I think rejection makes a person stronger, and I think going through rejection can make a person smarter. So if you don't go through rejection in your life, I think it can really fog your vision and can really just make you think that you're doing things perfectly when you're not. So how to handle rejection from a guy. You need to remember, especially if you're young, I think it is normal to go through many relationships. It's also normal to not have any relationships when you're young. I want you guys to remember that. I had a lot of things and a lot of situationships. I dated guys I don't even want to call them boyfriends because they weren't, now looking back. But I had things in situationships with quite a lot, not a lot of guys, but I went through a fair few of guys, let's just say, in my teenage years. And I finally landed on my husband. It's a learning experience. Like, I learned a lot of things from those guys that I dated in school, and it was so childish, all of them. Like, each situation, I'm gonna call it a situationship, it wasn't a relationship. Each situationship that I was in, it taught me something. One guy was really sweet, but he had anger issues. Another guy was just full on toxic and mentally and physically abusive. And then another guy was just really quiet and he didn't speak about his feelings. Another guy that I was with, he was just very full on and controlling and manipulative. So all of those guys taught me something. But at the same time, when I liked somebody, half of the time it would be me telling them that I liked them, and the other half it would be them telling me. But most of the time it was me telling the guy that I liked them, because I was just a very vocal teenager. Remember that the first step is to remember that rejection is a part of life and that it's normal to be rejected, especially if you're young. Then you might go through a lot of relationships. You will go through a lot of things. Even if it's not a proper relationship, you will go through a lot of things. And if it's your first relationship and you're young, then really, I don't want to say that it won't work, but it's really hard for relationships to work when you're so young. Especially, I know people who, when I went to school with them, they were in relationships. There was like 4 couples in my year from like year 8, and I think all of them have broken up now, because you change when you get older. The first step to handle rejection is just to accept it and just to say that, okay, it didn't work out right now, you just weren't the guy for me. The guy that is for me is out there and he's living his life and he's making his own memories right now. That's what I remembered each time that my heart would get broken, each time that, you know, something bad would happen with these guys that I was dating. I just remembered, okay, it will get better. It sucks right now, but it will get better. And I know that it's so hard. Like, I'm thinking back to my high school relationships, and it hurts my head that I let myself go through that. But I'm very happy I went through that. I'm very, very happy I went through that, because look at me now. I have a beautiful, amazing husband. We're not married yet. I just call him my husband. And we have a beautiful baby, and I love him to pieces. He's my best friend. And if I didn't go through all of those heartbreaks and all of those heartaches and headaches and mentally abusive relationships, then I wouldn't be with Corey today. I know that for a fact. And if it is your first relationship, it's a learning experience, trust me. And if it's your 5th relationship or your 10th relationship with a guy, you just need to accept that each relationship, you will take something from it. Each relationship, you will learn something from it. Each rejection, take caution, because whilst, you know, you'll be screaming into your pillow and crying into your pillow and eating ice cream after a breakup, let yourself go through that period, because I think that healing period is a fun period, because you let yourself feel the feelings. And I feel like it is important to let yourself feel those feelings. But at the same time, you can't dwell in it. You can't soak up in it for weeks and months and months. You can't soak up in those feelings forever, because you have to get up, pick yourself up, sis, go out there and get your coin, okay? Okay, ladies, the final thing that I have to say in this Boy Talk episode is some red flags and just some things that you need to look out for, just to save you from getting mentally... Let me not cuss. So the first red flag, I think it's a red flag with girls and with guys, is if they talk about their ex or just another girl. Nothing angers me more when a guy that I like, a guy that I want to get to know, talks about his ex or talks about somebody else who isn't me. Why are you doing that? A person who is truly over their ex or is truly over somebody wouldn't talk about that person. You wouldn't even think about them. You wouldn't even mention their name, because it irks your heart. For me, I know I do not name the person who shouldn't be named, you know? If you know, you know, but I don't name that person. I haven't named that person in years, and I won't ever again, because I've moved on. If this guy that you like is talking about Sophie, or is talking about Jessica, or is talking about Lucy, or Sarah, or Addison, or Miss, I don't know, Penelope, I don't know what these names are. If Alex is talking about Jessica, his ex, all the time, he still likes Jessica. He's not over Jessica. Tell him, okay, if he keeps speaking about her, you say, Alex, babe, clearly you're not over Jessica. And he was like, no, I don't like her. You do. You're just fighting it. You're fighting it, all right? You need to say, Alex, babe, you go back to Jessica and you two sort out what you need to sort out. I'm not involved. That's what you need to say. That's what I would say personally. Second red flag is if he's the type of guy to be on his phone all the time, like he's on his phone 24/7, whenever you see him, whenever you're with him, if you guys are out with friends, if you're in the same friendship group, and all of a sudden that guy who's always on his phone is not on his phone anymore, then baby, you need to go. The red flag that I'm mentioning is not if he takes forever to reply, then he doesn't like you. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is if he is always on his phone on the daily, and then suddenly when you message him, he's not on his phone anymore, that's a problem. And then he will come back to you 2 hours later, a day later, 2 days later sometimes. Oh, babe, sorry, I'm busy. Sorry, babe, my phone's been off. Your phone hasn't been off, darling. I saw your Snapchat story 2 seconds ago. What are you talking about? Third and final, these are like the 3 big, obvious red flags. I have so much more. I could literally leave a list in the comments down below. But the third one is that if you initiate the conversations, if you initiate the dates, if you initiate the phone calls, the FaceTime calls, all of the above, I was gonna say he might be the type of guy who's shy, who's timid, who's laid back, but even then he would still tell you that he likes you. He would still call you, because if a guy truly likes you, girls, ladies, he would tell you, he would make it obvious that he likes you. It won't be obvious, but you will have a thing in the back of your mind like, oh my God, does he like me? Just because a guy's nature may be timid and quiet and to himself, he will still tell you that he likes you. He will still call you. He will still text you. I don't care. I don't care if he's a quiet guy. I don't care if he's a shy guy. He's quiet. He's to himself. He will still make it obvious that he likes you. So if you are initiating all the conversations, if you are initiating all the dates, hey babe, do you want to go out to lunch? Hey babe, do you want to go for a coffee? Hey babe, do you want to go for dinner? Hey babe, do you want to go for a walk? Do you want to have a picnic on the park? And he's like, yeah, it's everything. More time he's just saying yeah because he feels bad for you, because he doesn't want to tell you that he doesn't like you, because he doesn't want to let you down easily. So he's just saying yeah for the sake of like going out with you and for the sake of doing something with you, because he doesn't want to tell you, or he can't be bothered to make the plans. That's why he's just saying yeah, I'll do it, yeah, because he can't be bothered to arrange a date, to take his time out to see you. Boy talk is just my nature. It's my nature. It's my calling. Like, I love it. Add this to your like favorites playlist. Go back to it. Send this to a friend, because this information needs to be known. Like, this information needs to be known. There's too many girls out here getting their heart broken over bummy guys. Oh, if you like this boy talk and if you want me to do more, then give this video a thumbs up and comment down below some other boy talk topics that you want me to talk about, and then the next one after this will be a girl talk. I'm just trying to jump in between them. And yes, that is all for today's video. Love you guys so much. Don't forget to stay happy, stay safe, stay inspired, drink your water, wash your hands, wear your mask, please. We're still in a panorama, okay? Mwah. Bye bye.